Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Transgender TV. I'm your sister, Angel Qinan, a registered nurse, and you're here with your other sister, starting off with Miss Ally.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, happy Philippine Independence Day and happy Pride here in Washington, D.C. And as they celebrate Pride as well in Los Angeles, California. And that's the reason why our episode is very special. It's a combination of both the Philippine Independence Day Parade as well as the Gay Pride Parade. Yes, so our topic for tonight is what makes you a proud trans Pinay? So Angel, before we go further with our topic, back to you to introduce our two lovely other co-hosts.
Yeah, such a nice topic. I have my props here. And of course, we are also joined by your other sister, Miss Faelnar.
Oh shoot, I'm not on mute. Cool. Hi y'all, welcome to Transistors TV. I'm Faelnar. Miss Charlie Talks on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm an actor and work in production here in Los Angeles, California. Happy Pride, y'all. Happy Pride. I sang Born This Way yesterday at church as the closing song, so that was really fun.
Well, I am so proud of you for doing that. And speaking about pride, I'm so proud with this other sister we have all the way from Manila, Philippines, Miss Sonia, the only one.
Mabuhay! Happy Independence Day here in the Philippines and happy Pride there. And I'm Sonia, the only one, Sonia Agbayani. And of course, you can find me on Instagram at Sonia, the only one, and Sonia Agbayani in my Facebook and Facebook page. Welcome to Transistors TV. Yokozo there in Japan. Mabuhay and hello.
Yakazo. Yakazo. Back to you, Ally.
So without further ado, before we go to our topic, let's start to spice this up with our fast talk. Ate Sonia, please go ahead with our fast talk. By the way, hello to everyone in the live chat. Hello, Kuya Ram. Hello, Salmon. And to everyone watching, please join us in the live chat so that we can shout out your name as well. Yes, go ahead, Ate Sonia. Let's begin.
Yes, do that. Let's do some fast talk here. First is, would you rather never laugh again or never use your phone again? Ally?
Okay, it was quite the topic. I mean, the question is like a little bit kind of far from each other, but maybe I'm gonna say never would have left again. I only left the Philippines because of family reasons. But looking back,
laugh.
Oh, what?
Sorry, never laugh again. Yeah. Tawa. Laugh.
Never laugh again, or so. Okay, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, sorry. Never laugh again or never use your phone again, cell phone again. Would you rather?
Never use my. It's hard, but maybe if I were to choose, and if I could be if it will be a beauty queen answer, never use the phone again, because I believe that the fountain of youth is laughter, and laughter is very important to someone's happiness.
Thank you, Miss Ally. Sorry for that. I'm in the Manila. Of course, Miss Lee, never laugh again or never use your cell phone again. Would you rather?
I think I will never laugh again because I could still snicker and I could still goof off.
Yes, and Miss Angel?
That is such a morbid question. Sonia. And I will pick Ally's answer. I will pick Ally's answer. Never use my cell phone again if in exchange I will be able to laugh.
And for me, yes, never use my cell phone again because when we were born without phones, so I think we can go with our life without the phone. So that's it.
Okay, so that was the next question. Go ahead. Hi, Jessie, by the way.
Next question. Let's make it simple. Neutrals or colors? Neutrals or colors? Ally?
Definitely colors. I'm a very bold person, and I really like anything bright. I like anything that's like happy. So I would choose color. Yes.
Yes, color. Miss Lee?
contrary to what you always see, yeah, I like neutrals. Black and white is my favorite colors.
And Miss Angel, neutrals, colors.
Well, I'm wearing a colorful rainbow.
Yes. And,
And you, Ate Sonia?
same with Miss Lee, neutrals. I like the black and white, the classic. So we can just add a little color for detailing. And,
On that note, let's put some life to this. Okay, so what's the last question before we go to the topic?
Last question. Let's make it nice again. Would you be a Julia Roberts or a Sandra Bullock? Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock? Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock? Ally?
I think I would choose Sandra Bullock. I really love her versatility when it comes to being an actress, being an action star, a dramatic star, but more so how gifted she is as a natural comedian as well, especially in Miss Congeniality. And that's the reason why I will choose Sandra Bullock.
Yes, Miss Lee.
Same, I think, with Ally. I like Sandra Bullock a lot. Especially in 2 Weeks Notice. That's like one of my favorite movies.
Oh, and of course, Miss Angel, are you a Julia Roberts or a Sandra Bullock?
I love Sandra Bullock more than in terms of the movies and the TV shows. But if I'm gonna be one, because I thought that's kind of what the question was, I think Julia Roberts have more money. So I think Julia Roberts.
How about you, Ate Sonia? Who would you be from the two?
Well, although Julia Roberts made Pretty Woman because of the Cinderella story, but I love the energy, of course, and how Sandra Bullock really makes her. You can see her in every role she does. You cannot see the Sandra Bullock. It's a different Sandra Bullock you see every time you watch her movie, especially in the lake house. It was so funny. The lake.
There we go. Thank you so much for that,
Thank
Ate Sonia,
you.
for our fast talk. Yes. So let's actually start with the topic. By the way, hello to Corena as well. Nice to see you, Miss Corena, in here. Okay. So our topic is what makes you.
Her name's Reina. Reina now.
Yeah. Oh, it's Reina. Hi, Miss Reina. Oh my God. Okay. So let's begin. So our first question is, as a trans woman from the Philippines, what is the significance to you of the Philippine Independence Day now that you live here in the US? And at one point, Ate Sonia lived in Japan. Angel, can you go first? As a trans woman from the Philippines, what is the significance to you of Philippine Independence Day in the month of Pride?
Of course, I was born in the Philippines. We know June 12th. So that's Philippine Independence Day. That's how we became free, from all the other countries and the colonizers, and kind of like started our own government, like governing the Philippines. And I feel like that helped me mold to who I am today, because obviously we were given the chance to be our own identity. So I still celebrate Philippine Independence Day, and happy Philippine Independence Day to everybody. I'm so proud to be a Filipina here in the United States of America.
Yes, and Miss Lee, how about you? As a trans woman from the Philippines, what is the significance to you of the Philippine Independence Day in the month of Pride?
Like in the month, honestly, I feel like when I moved to America and started joining Pride celebrations, I felt like Pride overcame the main thought of my brain when it comes to celebrating the month of June rather than the independence of the Philippines. Because I feel like June 12th is a nice date for the Philippines because we were kind of freed from 400 years of being captive by Spain. But if I think about it, the years and years and years of colonization kind of is still ingrained in us. And still after June 12th, America was still kind of in trying to create the government and Commonwealth. That's why there was still the Commonwealth of the Philippines back. Oh my God, history, y'all. I'm like really good at history. I probably forgot a lot of it because of pride. But so June 12th for me kind of is a pseudo independence, and I feel like the Philippines will only gain 100% independence when it becomes free from thinking that other countries are better than the Philippines.
Wow. How can we
What's our
even follow
mentality?
through with that answer? So if I could answer that question before we go to Ate Sonia, as a trans woman from the Philippines, what is the significance to me of Philippine Independence Day in the month of Pride? Well, as you all know, it's like mixed emotions. I mean, I did not transition as a transgender woman until I lived here in the US. That was actually like in 2014. And also the reason why we speak English, because if you not know, the Americans actually established the very first university in the Philippines, which is University of the Philippines, where the medium of instruction in school was in English. And that's the reason why Filipinos actually speak in English, because in most of our subjects or classes, we need to speak in English, except for the Filipino class, as well as the history class as well, which is called Araling Panlipunan. And for me, that's like the significance of pride. Because I get to live my life here as a woman, and at the same time, very thankful of the education or the language that the Americans taught us, because the Spaniards really didn't want to teach us back then on how to speak Spanish, and that's the reason why we speak very little Spanish. There you go. And now back to Ate Sonia. Ate Sonia, as a trans woman from the Philippines, what is the significance to you of Philippine Independence Day when you lived in Japan? Because at one point, Ate Sonia was an entertainer in Japan for 15 years. So what was the significance to you then?
Oh, I did not review for my history class. A lot of history is going on here. So anyway, thank you for meeting me, Miss Lee and Miss Ali. And well, as an overseas Filipino trans Pinay in Japan, well, it really opened my eyes how they have respect for the trans there, and they respect them in their field of in the field that they are very great, and that is the field of art. Especially when I really learn about that, especially in the what they call is the most some of the geishas and some of the people who are performers in Japan are these male people are portraying women. So I think that's one an eye opener. That's why they have very respectful performers in Japan. So they really idolize them, and they think that they're a form of expressing themselves as a performer, and they relate to that because it's just a stress reliever for them for watching shows and seeing people perform. And when I was in Tokyo, I was so also aside from I thought that only trans that are performing, but a client invited me to watch a show, and it is called Takaraska. Takaraska is an all-female show, and they are dressed as men. So I was really, oh, this is it. And they put and their makeup was really like very, very artistically done. The costume, the lavish, everything was exaggerated, and they perform men as men there. So you see, I was like, wow, it is happening here in Japan, and I hope someday, and that was in the 90s, and I hope someday that the Philippines will be also open in that kind of field. Arigato gozaimasu.
Well,
So,
thank
Ate
you for
Sonia,
that, Ate Sonia.
I love all the information, but I didn't hear anything about Philippine independence.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry. There's more things
Philippine
for her to share
independence.
about Philippine
Of course,
Independence Day.
Philippine independence. We also celebrate there in Japan because of the Filipino community and how Filipinos were really part of the Filipino. Because of course, we heard about the Filipino-Japanese war, and it was always an issue there. But despite everybody has moved on and everybody has forgiven everybody. A lot of people have died, but as you can see, there's a really great exchange of independence about Philippines and Japan. So I think that we're very good, and we're Asian, so we're still stick together. Yes.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you for that, Ate
Arigatou
Sonia. So my next question then is there anything that you're not proud of from the Filipino culture? And what would that be and why? Okay, I'll start with this. What is something that I'm not proud of the Filipino culture? It is the Filipino time. it's funny because whenever we go to Filipino parties or Filipino events, we're always late. Filipino time means Filipinos go to the event late all the time. But you know what the ironic thing is? When it comes to our work, our jobs, and then our bosses are non-Filipinos, then why is it that we're always on time? So that's actually, I think, a habit that needs to be changed. That if we can actually be professional and be on time at work, then why cannot we be on time as well to our community? So that's for me one of the cultural aspects that I don't like about the Philippines. The Filipino time, always late. How about you, Miss Lee? What is a tradition in the Philippines or from the Filipino culture that you don't like and why?
Tradition that I basically almost like everything except now I feel that fact that if you start to kind of answer back to your parents or like just reason with your parents, they think it's answering back and you shouldn't because you have to respect your elders. So I feel that takes away your own, like a child's own way of recognizing what is right and wrong and trying to, not that there is right and wrong, but like, you know, like them realizing what they did and the stuff than what they did rather than just like listening to their parents all the time. It takes away like that type of cognition from the kid and power from the kid that they're an independent person as well, you know, even as a young person. And now, even as an adult, I still kind of feel obligated not to voice out my opinions to my elders, even though I kind of want to, because I don't want them to misconstrue it as me being disrespectful.
I love that. Yes. How about you, Angel? What is something from our culture, Filipino culture, that you don't like and why?
I mean, I would say we have this phrase called crab mentality, you know, that some people are like crabs because they try to pull each other to bring each other down instead of pushing everybody up. And this is something that we actually see. I mean, Lee and I have spoken about this a few times before. That basically, like in the Filipino community, for example, in the entertainment industry, we don't see it as much like that we support each other or that we lift each other up. I mean, obviously it's been changing. We're all woke and we're getting better with that, but you can still feel you know, the ripple effect of the crab mentality as we know it from when we were growing up. So I feel like part of it is like feeling like it's always a competition with each other. So you have to pull each other down, but instead we have to learn how to lift each other up.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. And Ate Sonia, how about you? This is something that I would like to hear from you. What do you think is a Filipino trait or from the Filipino culture that you don't like and why?
Oh, I don't like, well, Ali got time, Miss Lee got the, about the, how to respect your elders, and Angel, the crab mentality. For me, it's the bahala na, you know, the attitude and the self-discipline. Bahala na is like, what do you call
You
it?
don't care.
You don't care, or let's just see it day by day, like that. You don't care. But especially, I don't really like this what do you call this, the lack of self-discipline. When I moved in Japan and worked there in 15 years, I really see the difference of how, in a simpler way, I can always say is the way you cross the street, the pedestrian. There you'll see that's the discipline of the Japanese people, and of course of some other countries. But when I see it in the Philippines, even though there's a big sign that do not cross the street or you'll die, but they still cross that street without the pedestrian lane. So with that, okay, garbage. Garbage are everywhere. There's no segregation, even there is, but when they pick it up, it's all together again. So there's a lot of realization and eye opener when I didn't see in the Philippines. There's a lot of because this could have been in the Philippines, right? But it was taught to them. The bus stop, everything was there. So was it? Oh, I wish the Filipinos were less like a little bit of this Japanese or some other cultures of the world got this. So that's a
Oh,
self-discipline.
I love that lack of discipline. I'll be honest, I'm quite guilty of that. As you all know, I actually walk to work every day. My job is very close to where I live. I'm very guilty of crossing the pedestrian, even if it's red, even if it says do not walk. So I'm guilty of that, Ate Sonia. Okay, on the contrary, what is a Filipino trait that you think we offer the best or what we're known for? Okay, so maybe this time, Lee, do you want to go first? What is a Filipino trait that you think that the Filipinos are best known for?
This is it again, like this is the same, like because it's a good and a bad thing. Like the respect for elders also, I think it's a really good thing. The way that I know that I don't want to just let my mom go to nursing home when she gets older. I actually want her to be able to live with family and all of that, and not just like put her like somewhere where I just visit her from time to time. So like that's one thing, like because you respect your elders so much, even though they can't really take care of themselves that well anymore or whatnot, you still want to have them close to you and not have someone else take care of them often.
Love it. Angel, how about you? What is a Filipino trait that you like, and why do you think we're known for that?
Um, I work in the healthcare industry, and of course, we're well loved as registered nurses because we all know how we care for each other and the elders. Specifically, I mean, Lee just mentioned about caring, for our elders, and I love that. I think that's something that we should be proud of and that we should keep with us, regardless if you're a nurse or not. And of course, I'm proud to be one of the nurses of the Philippines.
Oh, and Ate Sonia, how about you? What is a Filipino trait that you are most proud of?
I'm very proud. Aside from those nice things you've said, girls, ladies, I'm very proud of our resourcefulness and creativity, the Filipinos. So Filipinos, we are an adaptability. We Filipinos, just put us in any other country, we can adapt and we can be so creative and we will be very resourceful. I think Filipinos will never go hungry, or we also we are very resourceful. That's just what I'm proud of, being a Filipino. Thank you.
Yes, very resourceful. Okay, so if there's something, let's actually read some comments. Someone actually answered the question a while ago, like what she hates the most about the Filipino culture, and she said, "I hate the colorism among Filipinos." Salman, are you saying about when it comes to the Filipinos basically judging someone by the color of their skin? It actually happens a lot in the Philippines. It's really, really sad, and I do feel that. And I hope that stops. I mean, there's actually everyone's beautiful, and we should actually celebrate everybody. And Miss Reina, or how am I going to say, Pastor Corena or Pastor Reina said, "I love people, so there isn't something that I can think of that I don't like, especially inspirational people like all of us here on Trans Sisters TV." Oh, thank you so much, Miss Corena. And then, and Miss Karen said, the things that she likes the most are the mano po, wherein we actually would do this to our elders. It's almost like instead of kissing their hand, we do it right on our forehead, kind of like to pay our respects. Bayanihan. Bayanihan is like what? Heroism, like being there for each other, like camaraderie and resilience of Filipinos. Oh, that's actually very true. We're actually very resilient in terms of um we will not speak up, just so that everything will be until we get the job done, So, and that's the reason why I think a lot of people like Filipinos as their workers, because we're very resilient in so many things, even in the height of stress. And yeah, so for me, one of the things that I like the most or I'm proud of as a Filipino is, I think, our hospitality. I think because we've actually been colonized by like so many countries, like, I mean, like at one point, like the Japanese came to the Philippines, the Spaniards, the Americans. So I think that's the reason why we're actually like very friendly to other nations, because we're already used to like serving people. And that's the reason why we're also known for producing nurses and caregivers at the same time. On that note, if you're having a great time with our conversation, please give us today a like as well. We would appreciate your support as well on our episode. What makes you a proud trans Pinay? Okay, so Ate Sonia, can we actually go to our fast track as we take a break before we go again to our topic? Yes.
Yes. Woo-hoo. Fast track, fast track. Would you rather forget who you were or forget who everyone else was? Forget who you were or forget everyone else was. Ali? Forget who
All
you
your
were.
questions today are so hard. Maybe forget who I was. Because that's something that I cannot bring. I mean, as much as I always embrace my past, there's always an opportunity for you to live your present time. So for this question alone today, because I usually love my past anyway, for the sake of it, I will say I will erase who I was because I still need to live today. But oh my God, Addison, your question is so hard. Okay, who goes next?
Miss Angel. Simase.
You're on mute, so nobody can hear you, Angel.
I would rather forget everyone else's past because I can see them for who they are today.
Winner.
That's a good. Yes.
Winner, Miss Lee.
I think I'm gonna side with Ali. I would rather forget who I am because that doesn't negate all of the values that I already have inside of me. So eventually, I'm still gonna be who I am. I just don't know what I did in the past and whatnot. So people can remind me, and I'll remember it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Addison, how about
very
you?
nice. Well, for me, who I was, because every time, as we said, we can reinvent. So I can forget who I was before. Now I can reinvent as somebody else, like a phoenix. Hello.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I love that. Oh my God, super
Next
hard
is,
questions this time,
okay.
Addison. So what's the next one?
Next, let's make it lighter. Oh, if you're gonna be part of a world, would you rather be part of the Walking Dead series or the American Horror Story? Would you rather be part of the Walking Dead series or the American Horror Story? Miss Ali?
American Horror Stories. I love American Horror Stories in terms of everyone there is such good-looking people. You get what I mean? So as a makeup artist, I'm always amazed by the aesthetic of like the actors, and that's the reason why that's the reason why most actors really are blessed with good looks, because most of us really are attracted to beautiful things and to beautiful people. I mean, at least physically, in terms of like, watching it in the cinema. And that's the reason why I know I'm so lame, but I love American Horror Stories.
Thank you. Yes. Miss Lee?
I mean, American Horror Story. Sorry, because it's the one that's different every season. The stories is the one that's like the standalone. Sorry, I just have to change those two. But I will choose American Horror Story. I would love to act alongside Jessica Lange. And if I was in that one of the series, I would love to be in the Coven because I would love to live my witch fantasy. Y'all.
Ooh, I love it.
Jessica Lange it is. Miss Angel, Horror Story or
Of
Walking
course.
Dead?
Ali beat me to it, but it's the Coven. I've always loved like witch, like universe, like the craft, charmed, and everything. So if I would pick one, it would be the Coven from the American Horror Story.
And you, Ate Sonia, who would you be? Or what would you pick?
I would pick Walking Dead because eventually we will die. So I would like to meet all those Walking Dead zombies all around me and try to kill them. If I can kill them, it will be a very challenging, and ride a train to Busan with them.
I love it. Okay, before we go to the next one, let's actually read some comments. Um, 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 Someone said, I rather deal with zombies because you can't kill a ghost. Oh my gosh, yes, super, super. I love that answer. Okay, so what's the next one, Ate Sonia?
Next one, this is cute. Would you be in part of the Notebook movie or Notting Hill? The Notebook with Ryan Gosling or Notting Hill with Hugh Grant? Miss Ally, this is cute.
I'm a hopeless romantic, so I would say The Notebook. I do believe in fairy tales still. Even if I actually am very happy right now being single, I still do believe that if someday God really has someone for me, then I'll cross the bridge when I get there. And I really just love the fact that he made that house. And then suddenly he didn't want to even sell it because he really wanted that for the woman that he loved. And I hope that I can meet someone like that. No. So there you go. I would say The Notebook. And Rina
Remember
also
the
said The
name of the
Notebook and The Zombie as well. Okay. So
yes,
it's
and
Miss Lee
remember
who's next.
the name of the girl there was Ally.
Oh my God. See? Yes.
Miss Lee, Notting Hill or The Notebook?
So y'all, I saw Ryan Gosling in a Starbucks. I was just like, oh my god, that is Ryan Gosling. And he looks way hotter in person than in the movies. And
Did
he's
you catch
super
his
tall too.
abs?
Sorry, I'm remembering when I saw him and it's getting me hot and bothered. But
He's hot.
I really I like Notting Hill a lot. I always have a fascination for London and England. And when I had the chance to go to Notting Hill, I
Not
definitely tried to look for the blue door. And I was living my Julia Roberts fantasy. And plus, like again, like I want to be an actor, y'all. If I can be like the actor and say like I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, I would love.
yes, relatable. Yes, Miss. Thank you, Miss Lee. Miss Angel.
Oh my god, this is like similar to the other question earlier. So I really, really, really love The Notebook. That's one of my favorite movies ever. But the question is to be part of. And I feel like being part of Notting Hill was more fun and adventurous and similar to Lee. Of course, you know, Julia Roberts, her role there was just fabulous actress. And that's who I want to be.
Now I feel like I can.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's true. I hate myself for saying The Notebook. How about you, Ate Sonia?
Well, as much as she is America's sweetheart, and I love Notting Hill, but I want to be in The Notebook because it was such a challenging love story, and despite all the challenges they had, they were still together, and I really like their fight love scenes. That it just shows how love is. It is not a perfect love story, but eventually they made it perfect. So The Notebook it is. So you know, I love Ryan Gosling. I hope Miss Lee, he's not all Photoshop with that abs.
Well, as she said, he's
Thank
actually
you.
more hot in person. Thank you for that, Ate Sonia. By the way, Reverend Vena said, A Walk to Remember. A Walk to Remember is also like a very, very good movie. Oh my gosh, we're actually getting mushy here. Oh my gosh, what's happening?
A
Okay,
Walk to
we actually have a
Remember.
question here, so might as well just answer it. Turbo Common Rail 91 is asking, what is a trans? Okay, so how about let's just answer it. What is a trans Pinay? So if I could actually answer your question, Turbo, trans is, so basically I matched how I present myself on the outside as who I am on the inside. And me being a Filipina, that's the reason why it's Pinay, because I was born and raised in the Philippines for more than 20 years. Now I've lived more than 20 years as well here in the United States. That's the reason why our topic for the day is what makes you a proud trans Pinay. And that's the reason why I'm a proud transgender woman of color from the Philippines. Okay, Angel, how about you? Do you want to answer that? What is trans or what is trans Pinay? Since someone is asking us from the audience.
So being transgender for me, I was, assigned male at birth, but really identify not as that. So I'm female. So some people might identify as non-binary. So trans is basically, I feel like, is not identifying on what you were assigned for at birth. And of course, being Pinay is being from the Philippines or Filipina descent. So I'm a trans Pinay, and I'm proud.
Oh, yes. How about you, Miss Lee? How would you answer that question? Turbo's question is, what is a trans? But since our topic is what is a trans Pinay, I might as well just combine both.
I don't know if I want to answer that question kind of shadily, but I will. So there's no such thing as a trans because trans is an adjective. It actually is a preposition, prepository word, and it means across, through, over, or to the another, or on the side. Or on the other side of. So if you say a trans, that for me it's grammatically incorrect, and I don't know what that is.
Thank you, Miss Lee. Ate Sonia, how about you? How would you answer the question? What is a trans, or what is for you being a trans Pinay?
Oh my God, trans is how you represent yourself. Although you were born of this, but you're representing a community, and that is a trans. And a Pinay, of course, it is just like it is it is a opposite of a Pinoy. So Pinoy is male and Pinay is a female, and that's what we are. Trans Pinay, in short, and very, very clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Maraming salamat
Oh my
po.
gosh. Thank you for all the clarity. Yes. Oh, of course. And let's just say once and for all, for June 12, 2022, we give Reverend Reina an honorary trans Pinay. Yes. So we honor you, Reverend Reina, as an honorary trans Pinay. Yes. I love that. That actually like made her night already. Okay. So the next question then is what do you think is the future of trans Pinays in the Philippines? For me, unless they actually change the laws in the government in terms of like the LGBTQIA rights, then we cannot move forward in terms of having a change of name in the Philippines, a change of your gender. It's quite sad. So unless there's going to be a law that's going to be passed and voted by all in order for them to have like the equality in terms of like LGBTQIA rights in the Philippines, it will not move forward. So it's sad, but that's like the reality of it. Angel, how about you? What do you think is the future of trans Pinay in the Philippines?
I think the future of trans Pinay in the Philippines is bright. I know it's not yet a part of the benefits that we get here and the things that we enjoy here, such as changing our documents and our gender marker and having the protection at work and everything. But if you look at what's going on in the Philippines, maybe in the more recent years, in terms of having, let's say, a congresswoman who's openly trans and like trying to pass the SOGI bill, although it didn't really pass from what's the original form of it. And knowing that there's a lot of advocates in the Philippines and Filipinas from abroad fighting for the transgender rights, I think we should just keep fighting and we will have a brighter and better future, and hopefully it will keep getting better, and we will just we have to keep being good representations to our community so that they can see that we can be positive influences in the community, like being trans, and it's not a burden. Hindi tayo mga salot.
And that's the reason why we actually have Transgender TV, because we want to advocate for our trans sisters back in the Philippines as well, because we want them to be able to experience all the experience as we have here now. So hopefully we can do something to inspire them. Ate Sonia, how about you? What do you think is the future of trans Pinay in the Philippines?
I'll be very positive. It will be a great future for the trans Pinay here in the Philippines, despite the law, despite all the, despite all those who still not believe in what we are fight, what we are, and why are we here. So there are lots of groups there that does not really support us, but despite that, I would let's like to say that there's been in a couple of years, especially in the entertainment world, we have really moved forward, and especially in the entertainment scene. So there's in the fashion scene, they're more out there. I'm very thankful for the vlogging, the YouTube, and I mean everybody has their own words to say, and I think that's the main purpose of it. And I'm very proud also that who's I forgot attorney Sass. I think he's very out there in the especially in this in blogging about the government, in her opinions, and I was so it was just a proud moment. She was one of the talkers of one of the debates of the presidential candidates, and she's very out there. So it's a bright
Is she an
future.
ally or she trans? What is
So
she?
Sass, I
She's
actually
trans.
actually know Sass.
Yes,
I actually know
she's trans.
Sass even from high school.
Mm.
She has a master's degree. I'm not sure if it's doctorate also, but she has a master's degree. She lived in Netherlands, and that's where she actually got her higher education also. But she's an openly trans Pinay who actually graduated in Sambeda High School. And
Yes,
she's very outspoken. She's very politically involved as well. And I'm so proud of her as well because she's fighting for the rights. There's a recent like event that she was supposed to speak in front of the graduates, and
yes.
they turned off the
Thank you,
lights
Dustin.
on her because she's trans, and I guess somehow it's like in a location that's of worship, but it was being rented for that specific
Yes.
graduation. So again, including she's included in when I did say that there are a lot of advocates in the Philippines fighting for our rights.
Yes,
I
and that's
love this. Oh
and
my God.
she's one of those future, bright future for our LGBTQI here in the Philippines. So
Thank,
yes, I'm very positive it will be a bright future for the LGBTQI here in the Philippines, despite.
thank you, Ate Sonia. Hopefully one day we can actually work with SAS. Hopefully, you know what, to do something for the trans Pinays in the Philippines. How about you, Miss Lee? What do you think is the future of the trans Pinays in the Philippines? But before you answer that, let me read some comments because there's a lot of great comments here. Kuya Roderick said, trans Pinays' future in the Philippines is still a big hurdle to conquer. There's still a lot of educating to be done. Furthermore, to add to that, teacher Karen Pineda said, people have to be open-minded and accept people for who they are. Girl, boy, bakla, tomboy. For me, bakla is almost like the term for LGBTQIA in the Philippines because there's no specific term for trans and things like that. In order for change to happen and not be chained to religion, which is different from spirituality. And I do agree with Ate Karen, unfortunately, because a lot of the laws in the Philippines, unfortunately, a lot of our politicians based the law based on their religious beliefs. When technically, really, the law should be for the equality for all. Constitution should always be different from a religious beliefs. Yes, Miss Lee, go ahead. What is the future of trans Pinays in the Philippines?
What do I think the future is? I think it's for sure that there's going to be a future for trans people in the Philippines, not just trans Pinays, but also all sorts of trans people in the Philippines, ranging throughout the gender spectrum. It's because technology and communication has become so available, and there's a lot of other trans people in other countries that can communicate with each other regardless of the distance. However, I do agree that um, the road is still long and full of obstacles. It's not like a paved road. It's still kind of new. Um, Even here in our in America, we're getting so much pushback, and it's because we are such a small community, and also we are a community that has been tried to be silenced for centuries. Centuries. My hairs are starting to raise up when I say this. But even though if we were silenced for centuries, we still remain. So I'm for sure that the future is certain.
I love it. Oh my gosh. See, I can definitely think hopefully someday we can actually do something for the trans Pinays in the Philippines. Now, the next question is, what do you think is the future of trans or trans Pinays or the transgender spectrum overseas outside the Philippines? Okay, Angel, do you want to go first? What do you think is the future of trans Pinays or the whole trans spectrum in overseas, living in overseas?
So, first of all, before I answer that question, there's this term called here in the United States called Philippine X. So it's kind of will be the whole spectrum, like Latin X, So I think, can we do Pin XC or maybe we could coin that. But I think Filipino or Philippine X trans people living abroad. We have a bright future. If we have a bright future in the Philippines, I think we have a brighter future on those countries that actually accept us and let us thrive for where we are. I'm here in front of you. I'm actually wearing my Ket Pride t-shirt because this is a pride organization in our hospital system. It's like a whole USC healthcare system. And it means that they're very vocal, they're very present, they're very visible in their support for the trans community. And I think if we are allowed and given the chance to be respected and supported, I think we can thrive and get better with whatever things that we are doing. So fortunately for those who live abroad that are being supported, we have a brighter and better future. For those who are in a more obviously more maybe conservative countries, like let's say when we watch TV shows in Middle East about trans, kind of, then maybe it will be harder to thrive. But as what Lee said, we've existed for years and we will continue to exist. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, before we go to Lee, let's actually read what Reverend Reina said. What people have to realize is that acceptance and agreement are two different things. Acceptance for me is a subset of the love you have for others, regardless if you agree with them or not. Oh my gosh, that's the reason why Reverend is a Reverend, Reina, the queen of reverends. Okay, and Miss Lee, how about you? What is the future of Filipinx or trans Pinays or trans living abroad?
Well, first let me thank Arena for supporting me yesterday, because we were part of she was also part of the group that was singing at church yesterday, and thanks for all of that. I mean, Angel and I hung out with Powerhouse trans Pinays not too long ago, and it just really felt that we're trying to make sure that we even just here in America to make our voices heard. I mean, again, it's still a long ways for us to go. We're probably the least represented when it comes to the entertainment industry. But with these people that we've met with, like Gina Rosero, Rain Valdez, Angel Bonilla, all of them are trying to make a mark in the entertainment industry, and there are many others. So again, like I said, since technology has allowed us to speak regardless of distance, that I know we're going to be able to support each other. I love these fighters. They inspire me greatly.
I love that. How about you, Miss Ate Sonia? What is the future of the trans spectrum overseas or abroad?
Abroad, oh my God. As everybody knows, I was part of the overseas Filipino workers who work in Japan, and that was abroad, and that was also we were doing our future there, and I think we approve a lot those trans female that work in Japan, and that's one bright future eventually. And of course, as Miss Lee said, there is a lot of great female trans females that are really making mark, especially now, and I'm very proud of it. And which is like to say that I'm a proud moment. I had a proud moment of being one of those who made mark. As a trans Pinay, I was part of a production. I was part of uh, uh, a production, being the first trans Pinay of part of the Canada Philippine Fashion Week, and I was part of that. And I brought designers to Canada, to Toronto, and we made a show for there. And I brought about 10 designers to Canada in 2013 and 14. And I'm also proud of what I did. I was part of a very good of a fashion show in Japan, and that was the first after 15 years, after 20 years. I think I was back in Japan, and we made the Sakura fashion show, and I bought another designer there, and a trans also Pinay designer, Kim Gan, and she made a fashion show there also in that year. And I was, yes, I was part of a judge in Hawaii for the Philippine independence there of a turno competition, and I was a proud trans Pinay there. And you know, I had proud moments as a trans Pinay there. And you know, it is a Filipino Women's Civic Club in Hawaii, so I was part of that moment. They picked me as a judge there, and I think I am part of that making future for the trans Pinay.
And thank you for that, Ate Sonia. You are a living example of what really, like you've crossed barriers. You've transcended all the obstacles and all the challenges, and have showed us through and through again how resilient a trans Pinay can be, and can be a global representation as well. On that note, if I could answer that question, what do you think is the future of the trans spectrum abroad? I think if you want to leave the Philippines as a trans Pinay, or if you are in the trans community, perhaps you might want to go to a country where it's really embracing of or celebrating of like LGBTQIA rights, just so that you can really have more opportunities in terms of being out in your advocacy, just like when we talked earlier about Miss Sass, who actually studied in Netherlands, but now is back in the Philippines to give back in the Filipino community, especially the trans community. So I do believe that if the transgender community of the Philippines do have plans of going abroad, go to where you are supported, go to where you are celebrated, and connect to people who can actually support you in terms of the things that you want to do. Because you know what? Ate Sonia is already successful. Miss Lee successful. Angel is successful. I am successful. So hopefully we can actually grow our community. Because you know what? I think sometimes there's so many talented people, right, within our community. But sometimes the difference is, who are you connected to in order for them to connect you to the right people, in order for you to have an easier access to success? Because unless sometimes the right people, then regardless of how talented you are and how intelligent you are, it's not going to happen. So don't be scared that if you actually look up to someone or that you see someone, just send them a message. That's the power through social media. And hopefully, your dreams can be met some way, somehow at the same time. And hopefully one day, once you grow big and be successful, that you can also advocate for those people who want to dream big as you. Yes, there we go. On that note, Ate Sonia, let's do some fast track. Yes.
Yes, ding, 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 fast track, fast
By
track.
the way, Ate Sonia, Salmon said Ate Sonia is legendary, and we all agree. Yes. Okay, Ate Sonia, let's go. Fast talk.
Thank you. Fast talk, let's make it light. Would you be an Elle Woods or a Bridget Jones? Elle Woods of the, you know who she is, or a Bridget Jones, Miss Ally?
Elle Woods. I mean, I really don't know someone personally who's so gorgeous and beautiful. And I know that this is just a make-believe, who went to Harvard. So the fact that she was like this all gorgeous woman, who everyone almost like, she was like Reese Witherspoon, right? Like in that movie, Legally Blonde. She was like the epitome for me of like the most beautiful blonde, because she's like so beautiful inside and out. But at the same time, just because she was being stereotyped with the way she looked, that her boyfriend then stereotyped her for just being that, not realizing her capabilities of being very intelligent, that there's more to her, that there's more to her beauty. So same thing with us, like the transgender community. A lot of people think like trans women especially are all about high heels or all about makeup or all about hair. There's actually more than our looks. You know, we're also very smart. And that's the reason why I would choose Elwoods. There you go.
Elwoods.
Thank you.
Elwoods, thank
I don't know
you.
why my energy's in the roof.
Miss Angel?
I
Elwoods?
was gonna say the fast talk is becoming more longer than a fast talk. But it would be Elle Woods because she is very successful and competent. And I feel like Bridget Jones, although she was charming, was not as an independent woman as Elle Woods. And that's who I want to be.
Oh, yes. Miss Lee. Elwoods or
Miss Lee.
Miss Lee, Elwoods or Bridget Jones.
That's who I'm gonna be.
Bend and snap.
Snap. Yes, yes, yes. For me, well, since I'm so dramatic, I would like to choose Bridget Jones.
Are you just choosing that because we all chose Elwoods?
No, and I'm a fan of Renee Zellweger, so I really love her. So I can just identify because there was a time I got really overweight and I was like feeling like will I be loved? Will I be the part of this community? So it just gave me a very good cry when I watched Bridget Jones. Of course, Elvis is Elvis, especially wearing that Playboy bunny suit. So, hey, is this a party? And she was wearing the bunny suit. So, of course, for me, it's Bridget Jones. I'm a Renee Zellweger. So, thank you.
Your next question should beat the first one. So, what's the next one?
The next one is, of course, what is your favorite word? What is your favorite word?
My favorite word is love. And I've always said this over and over again. As the verse says, of these three remain faith, hope, and love. And the most important of these three is love. And if you have love within you, everything will be powerful. If you have love within you, that will be transcended to others. And if you have love within you, you have God within you because God is love.
Thank you, Miss India. Would you please step aside? The judges will be looking at you. Miss Lee.
Miss Lee.
My favorite word, just because I think it's such a cute word to say, is potato. I don't know why. It sounds so cute. Potato. Potato.
Patata. Patata. Miss Angel. Thank you, Miss Lee.
Mine would be sister, you know, that's what we have here, sisterhood.
Yeah, sister. For me, it's hurry. Hurry. Because I have no time. Hurry.
Oh,
Thank you.
I love that. So before we go to your last fast talk question, Reverend Reina said, that is also my favorite word. I use it all the time. I call everyone love. And we love you, Reverend Reina. Okay, Ate Sonia, so what's the last fast talk question?
Oh my God, last fast talk question for this episode is lose your hearing or lose your sight? Lose your hearing or lose your sight? Ally?
Lose my hearing. My eyes are very important to me, and I want to see how beautiful everyone is in my own eyes.
Thank you. Miss Lee, lose your hearing or lose your sight?
Is it earring or hearing? No, I'm kidding.
Hearing.
I just want to lose my ability to answer these questions. It's so hard. What the heck? Actually, I would probably choose sight. Only for the reason that I like singing And I also really like music. And even though Stevie Wonder is unable to see the music that they created is really inspirational. I know like Beethoven lost his hearing, but like he was able to hear before he lost his hearing. But you know what I mean? Like I love music so much that I probably wouldn't compromise the ability of like hearing music. Because I can touch stuff and I can feel what it feels like, you know.
Yes.
Before we go
Yes.
to Angel, let me read some comments. Miss Lena said her favorite word is aspire. Isn't that amazing? I think we all aspire to be each other. I believe each of us has something beautiful. Like everyone here, when we see everyone, Salman, Lena, Reverend, I hope I don't forget anyone, Michael, Queer Roderick, Teacher Karen, we aspire to be you. Everyone always shares something, and that's really beautiful. Salman also says hearing, and Reverend Reina said, I adore you, Sister Lee. As we all do, Lee. We adore you, really. And look, by the way, don't you notice Lee's hair, how beautiful it is? Yes. Okay. Angel, would you like to answer Ate Sonia's question?
And yes, I can see how adorable Lee's hair is because I can see it. And I would love to keep seeing beautiful people like you guys, you know. This is a very tough choice again because it's such a morbid question. I just want I don't like this morbid
I
question.
know. Where did you get this question?
But
It's so
I
morbid.
probably would keep my eyesight because like even though I'm like a lot of my work is listening and that's kind of what I need to do, I feel like I can still read lips, I could still communicate like when I see, and it's I can see the universe with my eyes, and I feel like I can't imagine how you would hear the whole world in the universe if you lose your eyesight. So I get it's a morbid question. It's like choosing an evil between the two, but that's my answer, final answer.
And Ate Sonia, how about you?
As they say, hear no evil. Hear no evil. Hear no evil.
Oh, I love that.
Well, as hear no evil. Arigato gozaimasu.
Okay, so
Sumimasen.
my final question then is your final words on our topic today. What makes you a proud trans Pinay? Okay, so my final words. So maybe I'll start. Um, the hardest part for me was denying myself then, saying that I didn't want to transition as a transgender woman just because I was so scared. It's what I feared the most, of the uncertainty of what my future will be when I transition. But it's actually when you're feeling uncomfortable that might be the answer to your purpose or to your calling when something is uncertain. So transitioning for me to being the transgender woman that I am today may have been the hardest decision of my life, but it's also the best decision that I've made in my life as well. Because to live your truth, to live your authenticity, to live your everyday with love, and you looking in the mirror, that you actually match who you are on the outside as who you are on the inside, the best. So that what makes me a proud trans Pinay. Um, Miss Sonia, how about you?
It's very, very nice, Ali. In my 50 years of being a trans Pinay, I've always challenged myself and let them know what my capabilities as a trans Pinay. And I always go not inside the box. I always go outside the box. As how far as a trans Pinay can be, can evolve in that world that I want to be in. It was an obstacle, it was a hurdle, but I conquered and I won. And I believe that I really, really, although I pushed myself, but I wanna just know where I can go. And with the good, it may be there will be bad results and good results, but the main thing that you are thinking as a human being that you can always fight and be strong in what thing that you would choose in your life. And for me, I saw that in this 50 years of existence as a trans Pinay, not in just in my community, but in other field of communities. So I really made a stand that, hey, I'm a trans female Pinay here, and I'm Sonia the only one. So live it, learn it, love it. Arigato gozaimasu,
Live
minasan,
it, learn it, love
domo.
it. Thank you, Ate Sonia. And Miss Lena said, super morbid. Yes, I think that was the question for Ate Sonia. I choose to lose hearing as well. Yes. Okay, Miss Lee, how about you? What makes you a proud trans Pinay?
So I feel like a lot of things that hindered me from being my authentic self in the Philippines are also the things that were able to make me become the person that who I am now. So it's very contradictory for me to say that. Like, for instance, since like the Philippines is a very religious country and they value God a lot, and that hinders like a lot of people to explore being their authentic selves. It's because of the dogma that's being taught, which is incorrect, but that also allowed me to be like the freest version of me because I didn't get stuck at the dogma. I went beyond that and I actually gained a relationship with like the God of my understanding, which is stronger than any written law on any book on that case. And as somebody that's Filipino and loving of a higher power, I am proud of that because that has made me succeed. And that has also created like the people that are around me and those that empower me spiritually as well.
Thank you for stressing that, Miss Lee. I think we are also like, we're very respectful of everyone's faiths. But just so you know, we're all like God-loving trans Pinays. So to all of like the brothers sisters out there who love the Lord, we're one with you. And even if you don't practice any religion or practice any faith, we still love you. But just saying that to those who are also looking for some older sisters or an older community that loves God and also embracing their truth and authenticity, we are in the same boat with you. Angel, please do the final words of what makes you a trans Pinay, and please close the episode after.
What makes me a trans Pinay is because it's undeniable. This is a Pinay and this is trans. Thank you. I'm Angel Qinan, ANGELQINAN, on my Instagram. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight on Transistors TV. I hope you keep watching us every week. Next week, we're actually speaking about Pride and Trans Pinay. We're going to be attending our Trans Pinay's wedding in Washington, D.C. So props for that. And so I don't know, we might not have a show next week. We'll keep you guys posted on that announcement, or maybe Ally will be announcing. Ally?
And Angel, before you say that, Reverend Reina said, since I'm an honorary trans Pinay and the fact that I just celebrated 4 years in the journey of womanhood, I've seen incredible positive transformation in my life. Oh my God, congratulations on your 4 years. And I've been able to finally express the love I have for myself and others. And Reverend Reina, once we visit Los Angeles, and hope one day Ate Sonia gets to visit Los Angeles as well, we would go to the same church that I met you, yes, which is MCC, which is also the same church as Miss Lee goes to, and Angels as well. So to all of you, happy Philippine Independence Day, happy Pride from Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. We love you from Transgender TV. See you again soon. Happy Pride, happy